Yesterday was probably the most historic day on Leech Lake Reservation since the reservation was established. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than that for us.
Tribal, state, and federal officials gathered on the Leech Lake Reservation to celebrate the partial righting of a 20th century wrong.
Thank you for joining us in celebrating this return of 11,700 acres of land that was illegally taken from Leech Lake. Yes.
In the 1940s and 50s, a succession of Bureau of Indian Affairs leaders illegally transferred thousands of acres of tribal lands into the Chippewa National Forest without telling the native owners.
A lot of times they didn't even know that the land was transferred out from underneath them until they came back years later and they would find a locked Forest Service gate on the road into their land and be like, what's going on here? You know, I'm trying to go out to my family's hunting land, trying to go.
For 70 plus years, Leech Lakers worked to get the land back. The work culminated in the 2020 Leech Lake Band Ojibwe Reservation Restoration Act, signed into law by President Trump. The law reads, the BIA incorrectly interpreted an order of the Secretary of the Interior to mean it could sell land without consent of the Indian owners. There's scant evidence, however, that they misinterpreted anything, as it was a particularly rapacious era at the BIA where the main focus was the termination of Indian nations. One of the directors during this time was Dylan Meyer, who previously oversaw the mass incarceration of Japanese Americans during World War II.
This land that I'm walking here right now is land that was flat out stolen in the mid-20th century just because federal officials and others thought they could.
It took the Forest Service a few years to survey the land, and today, delineated in multiple parcels throughout the reservation, it is back in Leech Lake hands. I asked Elder Michael Smith, Sr., to tell me what the return means.
Yesterday was a beautiful day for what happened. It was something that meant a lot to the Lenape people. Because in the past, they come and took that land. And they used many tactics to get it at the cheapest expense they can get it.
Minnesota Senator Tina Smith was on hand to mark the transfer and look ahead.
Today we are celebrating the restoration of land illegally taken from the Leech Lake Band. So as I'm sure you know, during this lengthy process, surveyors discovered another approximately 4,000 acres that had been taken and had not been included in the original bill. And so I want you all to know that we have a new bill to restore those about 4,000 acres, and I will not rest until that piece of the work is done.
And prophecies fulfilled.
Many years ago, an elder, he said, "Ego bombing again. Nagach, Kajamini Gomin, the Kimanan." Which meant, don't worry about it. Because further on down the road, they're going to give us back our land. Little chunks at a time. It's not going to be.
The band plans to use some of the land from this year's transfer for much needed housing.
And also leaving some of it as like a natural forest. We would like to bring some of our animals that have gone away because their habitat has been destroyed from logging and stuff.
And finally, I asked Elder Smith if he had a message for future generations.
Oh, wait. Well, that's yo, guys, Gagi get to on yo. Gain each gay watch na big. Na good job, it's too na why yo. Cause way back to be Jinago. Yo, Panaja, the Bama stay what yo, to the Wabanta na why. Gego, Gashanar should do now why. Jimaji kit the gay what yo. We seen the wind. Maskaki. That's yo. Nagats, that's yo. Panego, Jini, we went down now why yo. Cause way back, Bijinago. We go to our go, Manadug. No come as nani, no super nani. Ka we do ka to adio ga gin ga sui wa ke jinago. Mi gwech tashin in yo, bezinta yegi. Mi no wa yo. Oh, mi gwech. You want it in English now?
No, that's enough. That's good. Those that understand will understand.
Yeah, they'll understand.
On the Leech Lake Reservation, Stuart Huntington, ICT.